Ever wonder if your neutral view of the world isn't so neutral after all? What if invisible digital gatekeepers are shaping everything you see, everything you read, and even what you believe without you noticing? Today, we are diving deep into how the algorithms behind your screens are building your reality. And yes, they often embed biases you'd never suspect. Let's start with something that feels objective: a decision, a loan application, a job screening, a scholarship shortlist, a recommended article that arrives at the exact moment you feel uncertain. These outputs look mathematical, so they feel neutral, but the appearance of objectivity can be the most persuasive illusion of all. Now here's the problem. We often can't see why we got a certain result. The systems are complex. They are trained on massive data, and many are proprietary. So even when a company offers an explanation, it can be partial, or vague, or simply not readable to normal users. This is what people call the black box problem. And this leads to a bigger idea: a curated reality. We think we see the whole internet, but we don't. AI is constantly narrowing our field of view. What appears first, what disappears, what gets repeated, what becomes common sense. Now, because this is a channel about world literature and culture, let me say it like this. In literature, we call this perspective. Narration is never everything. It's always a selection. Algorithms are a selection engine at the planetary scale. So where do values come from? They come from us. AI isn't born impartial. It's built by humans, trained on human history, hierarchies, exclusions, and equal distribution of harm. Many platforms are designed around engagement. What keeps you watching? What keeps you reacting? So the system learns what holds attention, and it feeds you more of it. That can reinforce what you already believe, not necessarily because of a conspiracy, but because reinforcement is efficient. And in humanity's terms, this is like reading only one genre, one tradition, one voice, and calling it the world. Bias is serious, but there is also a quieter influence, subtle shaping of opinion, of attention, what feels important. Most persuasion today is not a single propaganda poster. It's ranking, it's repetition, what appears natural at the top of your screen. What you see first becomes what you think matters. That is agenda setting, and it's performed by systems that learn what holds your attention. Now consider personalized persuasion. Personalization means the system learns your preferences and sometimes your vulnerabilities. If you linger on conflict, you get conflict. If you click on anxiety, you get more anxiety. If you respond to outrage, the platform learns outrage is effective. So what happens to critical thinking? Critical thinking needs friction. It needs disengagements, verification, complexity. But curated feeds can remove friction. They smooth the world into a story that confirms what you already suspect. And this matters deeply for higher education, because students now encounter knowledge through recommendation, summarization, and AI-assisted search. So the question is no longer just what should we read? It's also who constructed the reading environment. Now let's talk about agency. You can't opt out entirely, but you can reduce how much algorithms govern your attention. Here are 5 strategies, simple and realistic. First, diversify your resources intentionally. Do it like a scholar building a bibliography across regions, across languages. when possible, across ideological positions. If you only read one frame, the algorithm will gladly turn it into your entire universe. Second, seek opposing viewpoint, but do it with structure. Pick one issue each week. Read 3 things: one local account, one international account, and one long-form or scholarly explainer. Third, interrogate recommendation. Treat the feed like a narrator. Ask, why this? Why now? What did I click? That trained the system to give me more of it. Fourth, build friction. Use chronological feeds when possible. Turn off non-essential notification. Save long-form reading for later. Break the habit of endless scrolling. Fifth, if you teach, make algorithms visible in the classroom. Require students to cite sources across regions and media types. The problem isn't AI itself. The problem is design, deployment, and incentives. What the system optimizes, who it excludes, how invisible it is. So what should we demand? We should demand transparency, how relevance is defined. We should demand real user controls, not performative controls. And we should demand meaningful auditing, independent research, access, and accountability. We also need diverse teams building these systems, not as a slogan, as a technical requirement, because bias often hides inside what a team assumes is normal. And we need continuous auditing because the world changes, data changes, models drift. And again, a humanities lens helps here. Think about translation. Meaning shifts across context. Every algorithm translates the world into categories. And translation always involves interpretation. So here is the key point. Understanding algorithmic bias is not academic trivia. It's essential for autonomy. Your ability to choose what you attend to, what you believe, what kind of public discourse you participate in. We reclaim reality by becoming active readers of the digital world, reading the feed the way we read texts, with context, with skepticism, and with attention to what has been left out. What's one moment you realized your feed was shaping what you felt true or important? If you want a follow-up from a world literature angle, how platforms reshape canon formation, translation visibility, and which global voices become legible, subscribe to Alhajji, World Literature and Culture. New videos published regularly.